Okay, welcome in everybody. Welcome to the Women's Wellness Network and welcome to our beautiful guest today, Nastacia. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing very well. I'm a little frozen here in London, but yeah, I'm doing great. And
Oh,
thank you so much for having me on your show. I really appreciate it. It's
oh,
wonderful to be
it is
here.
our blessing. Thank you so much for coming. I'm anxious, not anxious, oh, excited to share your story and who you are with our group. You have a beautiful journey, and the place that you've come to now is oh oh, it gives me shivers. It's beautiful. And yeah, I'm looking forward to our women getting to know you a little bit more. So why don't you go ahead, and you've told us that you're in London, which is very interesting. And I know you've been closer to me than that before. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Talk a little bit about, your global positioning, because we are global and we love to know that stuff. And then just a little bit about who Nastacia is.
Good, good. Yeah. So, hello, everybody. My name is Nattacia Satie. And yes, I currently live in London. I am a New Yorker at heart. I grew into adulthood in New York City. New York City made me who I am today. I love her so much, and life whisked me over here 10 years ago to complete and reconcile, which I have done with my family in Austria. This is where I was born and spent my childhood. And I am longing and yearning to return to my beloved America, which should be coming soon. So, who am I? What do I do? My passion in life has really grown out of my journey. So, I am empowering um, highly committed light workers and spiritual entrepreneurs who have done already a fair amount of inner work on themselves and who struggle a little bit with, getting rid of these last emotional and vocal blocks to really break through. So this is where I come in. I help them clear these blocks and then just really heal deeply and power up and then step out of hiding so they can shine their light into the world and be of service to mankind with their own magic. Yeah. Um, I have, let's see, in 1988, I had a mystical experience. I was activated divinely as a light activator. So my hands and my voice, they were prepared as healing tools. And it was a very far out experience. I don't know if you want me to go into this.
Sure. If whatever you feel called to share with us, we would love to know, because your journey it's interesting, and it's a little different, and the way it weaves together is
A
it turns
lot of
into who you
weaving.
are. So it's, yeah.
Yes.
So whatever you feel
Yes.
called to share with us, please.
Yeah. So yeah, um, I lived in Vienna and I was studying and I sort of gotten off track. I know that now, back then I didn't. I overcame a very traumatic childhood and I was in a very dysfunctional relationship with a colleague of mine from university. And one day I sat at the kitchen table with my neighbor and something stopped me mid-sentence and walked me. I wasn't doing the walking and walked me to the window. And I looked out the window. It was a beautiful sunny day. And all of a sudden, this huge, blasting white wave of light moved towards me. It was not menacing, but I couldn't move. I just stood there and then my arms went up and they sort of started undulating. My whole body started undulating, and that wave moved through me. It must have lasted maybe half an hour. All the furniture, everything disappeared. I was just in this ball of white light. And then when I came out of it, I turned around and my neighbor girl, she lay down behind me and she sat up and she said, "Whoa, what was that? This huge wave of white light moved towards you and moved right through you, and it felt so good. I wanted some too, so I lay down behind you." It was so I actually have a witness. And
Amazing.
then, Tammy, from that moment on, my life changed overnight. Well, I share a little bit on my Facebook post that you read, my personal disclosure. The most magical things started happening to me. People would walk up to me in the street and they said, "I'm sorry, but I see you in green." I'm like, "Oh, what?" They saw my aura, or, I would be astral traveling in the middle of the night and would be again, like very robotically move through dark streets in Vienna and then finally be guided to a restaurant. And there he was, my boyfriend, cheating on me with this girl, right? And he would look at me and I'm just completely, "Okay, bye." And go home the next day, kick him out of my life. And then one thing moved to the next. I could see Paris, Paris, Paris on every coffee mug and billboard and a t-shirt. So I listened, paid attention, and moved to Paris. And that's then when I connected with street musicians that were students of jazz from America and Canada and Scandinavia. I hooked up with them. I remembered I'm a creative. I need to act and sing and tell stories. My parents didn't allow me that. That's why I studied something in Vienna that I didn't want. That was my parents' dream. I studied to become a UN interpreter of English and German and French, and it was really boring because I create my own, right? So I ran off last minute. I dropped everything. Just one exam away from getting my degree, right? And it freed me. And I traveled the south of France and Switzerland for 2 years, singing jazz, swing jazz in the streets. And it was such an incredible school for life. And then everybody, all of the guys were saying, "You have to move to New York if you want to be a creative." So that's how my jump to America happened. And then when I went there, again, immediately I was connected with my mentor, a renowned trance channeler. He passed on now. And I was with him for 12 years. And that's when I was guided by ascended masters and archangels, and every week for 12 years. And I developed my own psychic abilities. At the same time, I started already holding healing circles. At the very beginning, the first year, I was doing a lot of volunteer work with Marianne Williamson's. She had a project called Manhattan Center for Life-Threatening Illnesses. That was the early 90s, and the horrific AIDS crisis was rampant. So I would go twice a week. There were these huge healing circles in churchyards and school halls. And, I would just do healing work on people who were, dying of AIDS. And oh my goodness, that was intense. So that was my start in New York. And then immediately I was called to do my own healing circles. And then I was also studying privately music. And then when that was going well, I started to give voice lessons. And then I started to study acting. So I was doing that, but the red through line was always the healing work. Yeah. So I saw some private clients already, and I was doing a lot of healing work on myself, and there was a lot to heal. And I started developing sound and movement work and power voice workshops and self-empowerment workshops and the healing circles. And that was all divinely guided. All my work that I'm offering, I never studied any of this. This was all divinely guided, given to me through channeling and a lot of past life or parallel life, if you will, recall. Yeah, I drew from Atlantean times, Lemurian times. I worked in crystal palaces with the sound, with the crystals. So it became such a weaving of magic, no? But I was always doing it underground. It was so Today, I know I had major, I dealt with the witch wound, the persecution imprint. No, back then I didn't know whenever somebody would say, yeah, the tumor disappeared, and the girl who would miscarry all the time after working on her in the healing circle, yeah, they conceived. I'm like, no, it's not me. It was so threatening me. And then thinking of asking money for it, it freaked me out. So I developed I established myself over the years, 17 years, I would say, in New York as a coach for singers and then public speakers. And then when more and more public speakers started coming, I never advertised for that. They just started showing up.
Show up.
I put up my little flyers in the East Village. I had my beautiful little studio in the East Village. I lived out of it. I worked out of it. And public speakers started calling, and I never say no. So I just quickly adjusted how I worked with singers. And that then became, for almost 10 years, the vocal gym for public speaking, which is a really cool, it's a 4-step full body workout for
Nice.
breath, voice, and self-empowerment. And it helps public speakers to really, develop their technique in speaking, getting an articulate, strong voice, but also great confidence and radiance because I'm incorporating the whole body, really magical. And so I was doing that all the time. And then in 2013, oh, and I also self-sponsored my American citizenship over 15 years. So I lived through 9/11, which was
Cool.
harrowing.
Right.
Yeah, and that postponed everything. So it took me 15 years to become an American citizen, but I'm self-sponsored with all my creative work. I had channeled
Well,
the messages in the 97 and 98, the first healing circles I was holding out of my East Village apartment studio. I was transcribing it and it became my first channeled book. It's called The Visionary and Futurist Artist, Freeing Your Creativity and Living It No Matter What.
perfect.
And
May I say
so,
something? I love that you have you went to school to do the thing that your parents suggested, wanted you to follow that path, but you are following that path. You are an interpreter for the light. You're an interpreter for the sound. You're an interpreter for other things, for channeled messages. You are interpreting for things that we need the assistance for. There's many people out there who can teach us how to interpret French or, translate all the things that we need, human languages. These are the languages that are coming on board. These are the languages that we need the assistance with because most of us don't understand them. We can't hear them. We don't know them, that they're there. So what you're doing it's incredible. It's incredible. You're the new person in that way. Oh, it, it's so exciting to me that because there's so many people who don't get this language. They don't understand it. They don't know how to resonate with it. They don't know how to let it come out of themselves. And that you're doing this work, maybe you had the start that you didn't think you needed, but as you say, everything weaves together in this beautiful way to
yes,
become who you are. And my goodness, I'm sorry, I just had to say that because it's just I see your progression and how
yeah,
you're coming into who you are. You already are who you are, but now that we are being able to
yeah,
find you and see you and utilize what you have for us. So please continue. Please continue.
yes. This is so great to hear because it's really true. Um, so when I'm working with clients now one-on-one, no, it's completely intuitive guidance. I can give you an example. One of my current clients, her first session, I always have them set a very clear, focused intent. That's very important. Otherwise, we're drifting, right? But if you come into the session or I hold also the healing circles that I used to hold in Manhattan for years off and on, always in person. 2 years ago, I was summoned. I was in deep meditation, so I'm also a clear voice channel. Since 97, I am channeling messages verbally in English from the divine, from my higher self, my higher guidance, from the angelics. And they give me very, very clear instructions. So they came 2 years ago and they said, now that you have reconciled with your family, that's why I was whisked over 10 years ago back to Europe. Is this just temporarily set up? And I've done it. Now that you've completed that, are you ready? Because I took some pause from healing work. I really wanted to focus on healing, childhood wounds, family wounds with my Austrian family, and did that beautifully. I'm so, so grateful that I accomplished that. It was so important. And they said, are you now ready to just dedicate your life to why you are here? We have activated you when you were 24. They said, now you're ready. Go. I wasn't ready. It was scary. For 30 years, I was hiding. Every time, somebody would say, yeah, the tumor disappeared. I'm like, no, would not take credit for it, or the woman who was miscarrying over and over, and then she would do a healing circle with us. 2 weeks later, they conceived. You know, I would just run. It was so scary. And I know now it was my witch wound, the persecution imprint. All of us light workers have that. If you're not familiar with it, please familiarize yourselves with it, because it freed me. I did a few months intensive work where I regressed back into all these different lifetimes where I was a healer, a doula, a midwife in medieval times. And all of us, we would be burned as witches. We would be tortured to death. We would be disemboweled. I mean, horrific things they did to us, because they thought, the church, the cleric, the men, they thought we were possessed by the devil. But no, we had these healing tools. I had, it was really, really harrowing. I had to relive certain past lives or parallel lives. One in particular was in the 11th century Inquisition time, Anglo-Saxon, which is now England, where I'm currently reside. And I gave birth, I helped to give birth to two quadruplets. And there were these, I saw them, there were these terrible, like beautiful angelic babies, right? Well, first of all, a woman at that time was not supposed to give birth to four children. That was already the devil involved. And they were all healthy. So devil, devil, devil. So I saw the torture chamber. I was there. They stretched me, they squished me, and they sexually tortured me to death. So these are these hang-ups that we light workers have stored in our stone and bone, right? In our cells. And that once I could really see that slowly, slowly, I could let go of that terrorizing fear of being seen, because now, today, it's safe. Nobody can torture us. No, nobody can burn us at the stake. We are safe to get out into the world, bring our magic. And yes, my magic is out there. 2 years ago, I started channeling light language. So I don't know, you can go to my YouTube channel. It's beautiful. It's very visual. It's light codes. I also created a playlist of it's called Introduction Series. It's a little gallery of a glossary of my language. What is light language? What is an empath? What is sonic transmission? These are 1 or 2 minute little videos, and I explain everything. So light language, many different people are speaking it now. It is my understanding, my higher self told me, that it comes always from my higher self, and it is highest frequency love and light energies. And they bring healing to the planet.
Right.
Yeah, they bring healing. They are light codes. They're encoded in these strange, well, I find it quite beautiful when my hands dance like this. And then a language comes. And there are different people who speak different light language. And I asked where mine is coming from, because nobody sounds like my light language. I speak it in my weekly healing circle. And my subscribers who come regularly every week, they enjoy it, because first it comes in the light language that we don't understand, and then an English message comes, and it's always a universal teaching. Last night it was beautiful. It was the giving of thanks, and they were actually turning it around and thanking us light workers for having been so dedicated to the light work, because I'm one of the first star seeds that popped. I'm an indigo. I was born in 1964. Yes, I'm 60. you know, and I had 20, 25 years. I was a lone wolf. Yes, I was in New York City. I had my once a week, my mentor, the channeling group, which was great. But doing the work, I was always on my own. People would be drawn to me, but it was a lonely, difficult path. And now, the new stars, it's the rainbow and the star, the star children, the crystal children, they come without karma. They never incarnated before. They just come to bring the love and the light and the healing. They're fearless. I struggled my whole life with terrorizing fear because of, that's what we light workers signed up for, to have a really tough childhood. So it catapults us up and out, and we heal ourselves, and then we use all these healing tools. Oh my goodness, I have a cornucopia that I can offer and that I am offering.
Right.
To get back to that current client of mine. So just to give you an idea how magical this work is that I'm doing. We never know what we're going to be doing in a class. It is all completely orchestrated, what is most needed in this moment in time by my higher guidance. So she set her clear focused intent, which we do in the healing circle. So in essence, physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, what assistance do you need? And you just put it out. And then I tune in, and then the guidance comes, and then they lie down and put their headphones on, close their eyes, and I transmit sonic transmissions through my voice. So these are high frequency tones, very high hertz, and they come. And this was explained to me by my higher guidance when I asked, what is it that I'm doing? So it is high frequency tones that come from the highest echelons of the angelic realm. And I was told that these angelics have been with me since birth, and they helped me develop. They guided me through my tough childhood. And then when they activated me in 1988, those were three ascended masters that came, that brought the activation. One of them was holding my molecules together so I wouldn't disintegrate because of all that power. And then the third one is always at my side since childhood. Yeah. So these tones come in, and what they do, they're high frequency, they go immediately into our cells, and they change the molecular structure of our cells, because any disease and illness in the body is simply an imbalance in our system. This is why it was explained to me what I'm doing now, as out there as it is the medicine of the future. It was already the medicine of the past, but then again, everything is parallel anyway. Linear time doesn't really exist. We just make that up so we can function in this strange meat body that we have to deal with, right? Don't get me wrong, it's beautiful. Vessel, our divine temple for our soul. But
Yes.
this is what is happening, yeah? So imagine that every week. And I remember times in Atlantean times when I practiced that as a priestess. Every week, the people would go into the healing chamber. You are being treated with sound vibration, light vibration, and anything that's a little bit of static, a little bit off balance, will be balanced out again. You go back out into the world completely in balance. No illness is even possible because all our illnesses are somatic.
Mhm.
Something is wrong is mentally, emotionally. If you are in fear for a long time, eventually it will eat you up inside. What is that? It's cancer,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
It's
So
true.
So what I'm doing now is I'm bringing in this ancient knowledge, and it's also futuristic. It is in essence, that's why the healing circle, they also told me, create a healing circle again, but this time we want you to go global. So you have to learn to be online. And as I mentioned to you before, oh my goodness, you have to understand, I was running a thriving healing practice coaching business in New York City for 20 years, pretty much, pre-computer times.
Right.
Everything was paper. I went to Kinko's. I would print my neon colored flyers, with my phone numbers, put them up in all the coffee shops, laundromats, health food stores in the East Village, and people would just call me and come, you
Right.
know. So yeah, so my higher guidance said, this is the time now to open up and create a global circle of light, community of light workers, light workers, to create that platform. And for that, I needed to learn to be online. So over the last year, steep learning curve for me. Now I'm doing very well. Every week, every Thursday evening, we have the Sound and Energy Healing Circle. People are participating from all around the world. We have people from Australia and many, many from my beloved America, from Canada, Europe, UK here, no? And it was made very clear that the purpose of the healing circle, it is the place for light workers and spiritual entrepreneurs, people who work with the light, with the magic, to get their weekly nourishment. Yeah, so it is this weekly maintenance, spiritual and energetic maintenance, where, we step out into the world, into the 3D world, and we're being bombarded by the fear and anxiety and worry and everything that's happening out in the world. And we're all empathic, so we're soaking it up like a sponge, and then we get the jitters and we get nervous. It's not us.
Right.
We're soaking it up from the outside world. So the healing circle, you come in, the first tones, different tones have different purposes.
Oh,
So some tones, they clear the static. So you're back in balance. Some tones ground you. They really, so now it's winter. You said it's cold where you are up in Toronto. Here it's cold. We cannot go barefoot up out in the grass. We would freeze to death, right? So some of these tones, they ground us. Yeah. And then the Native American drums come, my crystal balls turn into Native American drums, believe it or not. And they come very like, hello, hello, and they bring that grounding, that powerful, these ancestral, powerful grounding energies, no? And then when everything is balanced out, then they bring these powering up tones. Your energy is raised. It's somebody who is a clairvoyant came not too long ago and she saw me. She says, my goodness, you are a power generator for light workers. She saw, like a power plant.
yeah.
Um,
While you're speaking, sorry to interrupt, but I'm seeing that's what I see. Like your group is like a circuit board. The
yeah,
energy all comes in, everybody gets connected and powered up, and then we go out into the world, and the energy that we've gotten goes out, and we're unfortunately absorbing the negative stuff, the empathic things that we take whether we intend to or not
yeah,
sometimes. And then you come back to your circle, and all that stuff can be released and
yeah.
re-energize. You re-energize the people with your power, with what you're
Yes.
able to bring that to people who are not able to do that yet.
Exactly. And that's the point. These tools I'm teaching one-on-one and in the healing circle, everybody has the potential to develop these abilities. They were turned off thousands of years ago. Some not so good, not so benevolent beings came to our planet. Some of you might know that. And they conveniently turned off nine of our, so, the junk DNA, not so, it's not junk. These are our superpowers. And so the third part of the sonic transmissions, that's where it gets really exciting. So once everything is cleared, powered up, then the tones come that activate your light body. Your light body is your area from your heart throat chakra, third eye, pineal gland, and the crown. This body will be activated. You're being recalibrated, upgraded in your DNA, in every cell of your being, you know, and that's then where the power comes on. And before I forget, I need to follow through what I mentioned before. My current client. So just so you have an idea how magical the work is. So she set her clear, focused intent. She's a prolific writer, the potential new Harry Potter, I would predict. She works on a fantasy novel right now. So I tune in completely out of context. I channel a past life of her. So she lives in England, a past life where she was a slave in a coal mine.
Mm. Yeah.
Her whole life underground, breathing coal dust. This woman burst into tears. She could not stop crying. Once she came to, she says, Nattacia, you have just lifted a lifelong burden of mine. It's gone. I said, tell me. She says, my whole life I felt a pressure on my chest, on my lungs, and my heart. No doctor could help me. They all said, you're healthy. There's nothing wrong. She says, I had a hard time breathing. I could not take deep breaths. And she says, and now it makes sense. I would always yearn for sunlight. I would look to the sun and I would always think it's very odd. And also I would be drawn to nature, to green. Well, if you live a lifetime underground in the dark, breathing coal dust, all this makes sense.
Yeah.
She
Ugh.
integrated this for a few days. You should see her now. She is sparkling and shining. Her prana, which is her life force, the breath is moving through her. It's incredible. And then the next session, completely different. I channeled crystalline, very thin columns of crystals for her. And I described it. And again, she bursts into tears. She says, oh my God, this is the goal of the quest in my book, where my protagonist needs to search for the crystalline palace. And then what I was told to tell her is one of her past lives. She is channeling her past life to create that inspiring fantasy novel,
Wow.
to remember people's memory of their past lives in times where there were highly evolved civilizations with crystalline energies. It's all coming back, Tammy. It's all coming back.
Oh my gosh, I see that. I do see that. I see it in the world. I see it in people. I recognize it. It's amazing. And right, it's ancient, but it's also what is in our future. Everything is
Futuristic,
cyclical.
totally, totally. And every session is different. You know, there's different people work, but the one thing that that they always get, they free themselves up. Whatever block is there, you know, it's usually karmically, attached or from a past life. It is cleared, and then they have clear passageway.
Mhm.
Clear passageway. So this woman now, she had brain hemorrhage a few years ago, completely changed her life. She had to relearn how to speak, how to walk, came into my healing circle 8, 9 months ago. She didn't even turn on her video. She was so shy. Now she is out there, feisty, fierce. She shared with me that she would like to be a life coach. 2 weeks ago, she says, Nattacia, I just signed up to be a mentor for stroke victims. I said, do you know this is the first step? She says, yes, yes, the coaching is coming. And she had these blocks in writing, right? When she started, that's how she came to me. She says, maybe your healing circle can help me get that flow in my writing. Well, her book is finished written. She works on her synopsis, and now she's getting ready to approach editors and book publishers. No, so this is, each person has a completely different passageway, but it's clearing. I always see it like brushing with a broom the passageway, so you can then really build your mansion. That's what you came here to do and to be.
Right? Oh my gosh. Well, you mentioned before about the witch's wound, and now you just mentioned about the brush sweeping things away. Maybe that's why a witch has a broom. it's maybe figurative as sweeping away the
Yes,
cobwebs that are
of
inside of us,
course,
right?
of
That are
course,
stopping
of course.
our flow. Amazing. Absolutely
Yes.
amazing.
Yes. And then
I
the
love your work.
voice, women especially, they are so suppressed with one of these past lives. You know what they did to me? They poured down liquid lead to shut me up, to stop me from speaking my truth. Well, they thought I should stop speaking. Of course, I died horrifically, you know.
Yeah.
That's what they, it was always the man, suppressing us. So the good news is now the divine feminine is on the rise. It's already arrived. It's here, So it's the power is changing into love and light and peace and joy and harmony. And that's why it's so empowering working with women now. Most of my clients, I do not only work with women. I would not exclude men because I don't think it's fair. But 99% of the people who work with me are women, and it's always been this way, also in New York. Occasionally, a very dedicated, very yin and yang balanced male would join, and that was always beautiful.
That makes sense, right? Having to have their feminine raised also so that they can become attuned because
Yes,
maybe they can't even really hear it otherwise.
yes,
Maybe that makes perfect sense to me. Women have
yes.
different chemistry. Our bodies hold all the emotions and
Yeah.
things in a little slightly different way than men. Also, our voices are higher. Like there's all
And
these
the
things, right?
voices are always suppressed by women. That's why, oh, this is what I also want to mention. So back in New York, every client, vocal gym for public speaking client would always ask me, because I would hold these boot camp intensives, because New York people are very ambitious, very no time, no time. So I created it, would really work. They would come 5 times a week, Monday through Friday, 1 hour each for 2 weeks and be done. The cake baked. I kid you not. Voice completely transformed. This is how potent the system is that I developed because it works holistically. So every single one of them said, please record it on a DVD so I can work. I'm like, no, no, no. Technology, no. So 2 years ago, I met here in London a videographer, and she asked, it came up in conversation casually, and she said, you never recorded this? This can be potentially your legacy. I'm like, oh, we did it. I record it came out so beautifully. And what could have potentially been a quite boring public speaking home study e-course. Oh my God. All my bubbles and my fun and my joy is imbued with it. It's so, I'm really pleased. And I just finished it. I had a very, very generous star sister of mine help me who has 30 years expertise in IT. So she loves my healing circle. So she offered a barter. So she comes to the healing circle and gets her weekly boost of energy. And so she helped me build it, and now it has a house and it's available. So it's great for women who are a little hesitant talking about their magic and about their business and about who they are. And it really helps them to open up and then just become very radiantly present and become and get a voice, no?
Find their own. So if our women would like to work with you or find out more about what you do, how can they do that?
Oh, it's very easy. Um, So I work in group settings, which is the weekly healing circle. You can just sign up. I give you a great discount if you subscribe to it. It's every Thursday evening here in London. So it's 1 p.m. Pacific time. It's an hour and a half, so it would be 4 p.m. your time, Eastern time, and it's every week. And it's very beautifully structured. It's very rich. It's a very rich program. Everything that I'm about, I have a little bit of the jiggles jumping. So we're opening up the channels. Then we do some mantra chanting. in unison, so shamanic, so you can really open up your voice channel. So that's all where you are active, proactive, and then you can just relax and sit down the second half where I channel the beautiful light language coming through and the beautiful message, and then they lie down, and then the sonic transmissions come where you, a lot of them actually astral travel, they leave their bodies, they see shapes, geometric shapes and forms. They have, different experiences, different lifetimes, so it's just really magical. And then when you're coming out of that, so that's all the tones with the crystal balls and the voice, then everybody shares their experience. In the beginning, there's a quick, very brief introduction. Everybody shares who they are, where they're from, and their magic, how they express their passion in service to mankind in the beginning. The circle attracts only light workers and people who are there in service for mankind. A lot of humanitarians and people from all around the world, Australia, all around Canada, America, here. So that's very easy to get introduced because it's easy. It's in a group, and then if you want to go a little deeper, you can then sign up to a mentorship program where in the beginning, I offer a clarity session. It's my program is called Unleash Your Splendor. So you have a clarity session with me where we then see if I would be able to assist you. And if you feel, yeah, it's a good match, then you can sign up for a 3 or 6 months mentorship. Yeah. So that's how I'm working right now with people who are, I have to say, I only work with people who are very committed because otherwise it wouldn't, it would be a waste of your time because it wouldn't work. Yeah. But those who are, wow, they're just taking off and just beautiful. Yeah. And then if you need a little bit of guidance and boost with your voice, the vocal gym is available, of course. Yeah. And I actually brought a gift that I would like to share with our members. It's a free gift that I put together, and it's actually part of the vocal gym. It's a body breath alignment routine that has several purposes. You can do it anytime before you speak publicly, before you hold a Zoom meeting, or you speak in a workshop or in a group. If you have to speak in front of 500 people or speak with one person, it doesn't matter. You do this routine and it loosens you up. It takes all the jitters, the nerves away, and it boosts because you're combining the breathing, your prana, your life force with your body, with a lot of jumping and jiggle and rotations, and it powers you up, and then you have confidence, and then everything goes really well. This routine in the gift that I'm presenting to you today, you can also use it because I know a lot of us light workers, we sit a lot at the computer and we type for hours and then we get all cranky and the eyes get blurry and the headache comes, right? So if you do this, you get away from the computer and you do the body breath alignment routine for 5 to 10 minutes every few hours. It invigorates you and it refreshes everything will be invigorated and energized again, and then you go back to the computer and it's like you just started your day in the morning. Yeah, so it's a really great tool. Some people do it also when they have a layover at an airport. You're sitting cramped up for 12 hours, then because you're doing it standing up. Or some people who do have a 9 to 5 job in an office, you just go into the green room or to the bathroom and you just shake, and you're adding your voice. It's always you combining your voice and your breath with the body, and then you're just powered up again. Yeah. So that I would like to offer you. And I don't know how we're going to do that. Should I give you the link now, or do you just put it in the
Yeah, we'll have you
group
put it
or?
have you put it into the comment section of this interview, and then people
Yeah.
can find it easily. And any information that you have, we would welcome it. Put it in the comment section so that we can find you and be able to work with you. I think that would be
Okay.
amazing. And we can already see that the things that you're doing, the things that the way you are in the world obviously are working. You are full of light,
Yes.
you are full of energy, you are
Mm.
vibrant, You are beautiful. You look youthful. You look healthy. Like all the things that I'm sure most of us are trying to strive towards. Um, you're radiating that. So,
You know, you touched on one thing.
what is that?
Caution, you might be rejuvenated.
Right? And what an awesome
This
thing.
this work rejuvenates people. I kid you, it's literally rejuvenating the body, you know? And then of course, you know, the skin starts glowing, the eyes start sparkling. It's really powerful. So the first link that I put is the free gift. Please just take it. I'd be so happy. And then the other link is the where you can sign up for the healing circle.
Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful.
And um, I'm gonna just put my let me see, the vocal gym, the home study e-course.
Very fun. Well, who knew? Women of the Women's Wellness Network. Who knew we were going to get some beautiful gifts and be invited to some circles? And there's so
Yes,
many offerings and so many ways that we can open ourselves up and refine ourselves and refresh ourselves, even. So, my goodness,
yes,
we will put all of the information into the comment section so that you can connect with Nastasia. You can find out anything that she has to offer, anything she's been talking about. Yeah, we definitely want you to connect because there, like we said, it is a language that not a lot of people speak yet, but
yeah,
we are coming online. We have the
yes,
ability. So thank
yes.
you for offering
There's
these things.
one, my pleasure. There's one more thing I wanted to announce. I'm working now on a free masterclass that I will be holding regularly starting December 6th.
Oh,
And this is the masterclass. Let me see. I'm still working on it, so I'm scripted here. Forgive me.
no.
So, it is called Speak with Clarity and Power and Succeed Masterclass. And this class is also for light workers and spiritual entrepreneurs whose message is getting lost because they aren't comfortable speaking in public yet. So they will learn how to shift their personal energy so that their spoken communications truly connect with their audience.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's very
So,
valuable. I mean,
you
that
know,
you can't
yes,
get it from the inside to outside. Yeah, we're missing a lot of opportunities, a lot of healings, a lot of things, everything. You
exactly.
can't do that. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think the best way how to get the information is I'm going to put here just my website. When
Okay.
you go to my website, it's just my name, nattaciasatie.com. A subscription window pops up and you can subscribe to my light letter. It's my newsletter, right? My email newsletter. And then you're always being updated about everything I do. And then, of course, you can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and YouTube. I'm very active. I'm putting a lot of time and care and love into everything. There's so many beautiful stories I'm telling on Facebook, especially. So if you want to scroll all the way down, you find out a lot about me. And the YouTube is just a very visual feast for the eye and the ear. I might as well just put those links here too, you know, and then you can follow me
Oh,
there too.
that sounds amazing. Thank you. Yes, wonderful. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, is there anything else? I mean, you've shared so much with us today. Is there anything else you would like to say before we sign off today?
One tone. Would you allow me
Please, yes.
to gift everybody with one tone? Let's see. I need to switch my setting here. So, because they're very high tones and they cut out unless I change a particular setting because it's high frequency. So, if you all just could close your eyes and take deep breaths.
Very powerful. Very lovely. My goodness. Thank you. That's amazing.
Yes. So that was the sonic transmission. Yeah.
Wow. Yes,
Mm.
I
You
went somewhere
feel?
for a moment and then I realized
Yes.
I was not still here and I was seeing like red and sparkly things which caught my attention, which made me realize I was, I needed to come back to the sound. That was amazing.
Yes. Yes. Imagine this was 20, 30 seconds. Imagine this 30 minutes.
Wow, right?
You are time and space traveling, and you bring back knowledge and insights and healing. It is well, this is how the angelic send us their healing, love, and light energies through these tones.
Right.
Yeah, and I've done just the tones for 30 years. The crystal bowls were just added last year when my higher guidance said, it's really funny, there are some light beings that wish to harmonize with you through crystal bowls. So they become the crystalline bowls because the crystal bowls are quartz crystal, right? So they are organic. They were grown in Mother Earth, right? So there are beings in the bowls. And now it's you will see when you come, I'm inviting you to the healing circle. When you come, you will feel as if there's a choir of angels singing with us. And it's just my voice and the bowls.
Right.
It's pure magic.
Oh, it's
Pure
giving me
magic.
shivers. It's giving me,
Mm,
it's my whole body is full of chills. That is so incredible. I
yes.
can't wait to participate. It sounds like it will be
Yes.
absolutely amazing. So I
Yes.
wanted to thank you so much for coming today.
Oh,
Thank you so much for sharing yourself with us, explaining what you're doing, because,
mm,
a lot of people hear these things, but they don't actually know what it means. So thank you very much for your
yes.
interpretation, for your examples, and
My
all the
pleasure.
information that you've given us to go and check out because now
Yes.
we want to know more. There's
Yes.
different things that we can dive into and figure out for ourselves and see if they resonate and if we're
Yes.
ready, because some people might be ready,
Yes.
don't know that they
Yes,
are.
but please, all of you, accept my gift to you. It's really great fun, and it's life changing. Yeah, it's the first link that I put in the body invigoration. Yes,
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. And women of the Women's Wellness Network, thank you so much for watching and do
yes,
participate. Do check out what Nastasia had to say in her links. Because the connection can be greater than we could ever imagine. So thank you everybody for watching. And of course, until next time, be well. And Nastasia, thank you so much for coming.
thank you so much. Many, many blessings to all of you. Much love.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.